Oh, welcome back to the Ami's House Patreon. Thanks for joining,
Tyler,
everybody.
Gabe, and the rest of you.
Michael, crazy times. We did a special emergency pod on the Trump assassination.
Yeah.
And let's first talk about how we might be in a society that just doesn't take anything seriously anymore, and I may be a part of that, which I was feeling a little self-conscious because I posted a video today. And
So we talked about on the free episode how Ami had second thoughts about posting something about the Trump thing.
A funny video.
We recorded an episode with Jared Armstrong, which will go up soon.
Yeah.
And then Ami opened his funny one. 40,000 views, not bad.
I'm not that yucky about it, but I'm conflicted. So here's the thing. There is a sense in comedy of like timing, taste. Too soon. People say too soon. Most of the time, it's not too soon. Sometimes it is. Mm-hmm. I actually was pretty shaken up by this whole thing, and I think it's a very serious thing that's happened. And somebody did die, and it's a tragedy that they died. So
the shooter?
No.
Oh, the other guy, right?
You sicko. No, and so it's a serious event. And then one could always say comedy is the way we heal. It's the way we're just. But if I'm being honest, that's not really why people post at this moment now. They post because it's trending and you want to catch that wave. And so you succumb to that a little bit. At the end of the day, though, like. So I find it a little yucky that like something like this happens, and within seconds of an event like this, meme culture takes over on Instagram, and people start doing their jokes and making their thing. So I waited a few days, like Saturday, Sunday, hold it, and then at the end of the day, at the other side of it, it's like what journalists cover it. That journalists do what they do. Mm-hmm. Camera guys, this guy's photo's iconic. He gets his image, and comedians and entertainers do what they do. You had a thought that was tickling you there. What was that?
This is such a good data point of like when people talk about innocent deaths in Gaza, and I'm always like, you don't care about strangers dying. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that we don't know who this guy behind Trump is, and no one quite cares about him dying. Let's be honest.
Right.
Like it's just, to me, it's all like, you don't care about the guy who died who's sitting behind Trump, and you don't care about people in Gaza who die. Like it's all a performance for you, because like
you're talking to me.
No, I'm talking about to like all the, I guess, like the people on the left,
to anyone who postures,
who are not mourning the death of this innocent guy behind Trump. Like that's how much you care about innocent life. As much as you care about the guy behind Trump is as much as you care about innocent life. If your day isn't ruined over that guy, you don't care about someone in Gaza.
All right, so let's see your point and raise you.
Okay.
Innocent life is taken all the time. We are subjective creatures that have people who are in concentric circles closer to our vicinity. Mm-hmm. Innocent life dying is equally tragic no matter what. But to the person who is subjectively looking at life, there are people that matter more to you than others. Mm. So the people who know this person are grieving in a very different way than the rest of the people who say how sad it is. And that's just kind of what it means to be a human being. But so I say it's a tragedy that someone had lost their life. But do I feel personally like I'm grieving over it? I'm not connected to that person. I don't know the person. That's how everybody operates. And you're saying that is some sort of condemnation or a reality check? In other words,
it's reality check. I actually think it's very commendable that you even gave it a second thought to put up your Trump video because of this guy who died. And I'm saying I think you care more generally, broadly, about innocent people dying, probably, based on this little experience, than most people who are out in the streets protesting Free Palestine actually care about innocent people dying.
Sure, that's much more performative for them. Yeah. I'm just saying the gravity of the event is pretty real to me. It's pretty grave. So to make light of it in any way in the immediate aftermath, I can see being conflicted. There was a part of me that by the time I posted my video, I had already seen such an onslaught of people making light of it in the form of funny tweets, in the form of gangster memes, where he's got his head on 50 Cent's body and he's a rapper now because he got shot, he went to jail, he's been convicted. He's a rapper, he's a gangster. Everyone's kind of making light of it. So I'm like, oh, I have a funny take on it too. And there's a part of me that's like, I just posted it.
But here
I just did.
Yeah.
And then I start to like, most of the time I'm purely stand behind everything I post and do. And then every once in a while you run up against this little bit of friction where you're like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? And to be honest, if I'm being honest, like how the public perceives it kind of gives you a sense of, if you made the right decision or not.
So I have two things to say to you. One, I want to give you a challenge, but first I want to hear, bring me through how does it feel internally, your internal map, when you have this, you make the video, you're about to post it. Like, what's the benefit to you? When you're thinking of all the awesome things that are going to happen once I post this video, like, walk me through that cost-benefit analysis for you.
Sure. Social media is a drug, Michael. Mm-hmm. It gives you dopamine. When you post and you get rewarded in views, comments, adoration, it feels good.
Adulation?
What did I say?
Adoration and adulation.
And adulation, admiration, fornication. You get this little kick, a little tickle. And every social media person who does this all the time and has built an audience off of it posts and then takes a look at it an hour later and then refreshes and checks a few comments. We're all human beings. To deny that I do that, it would be lying. And I'm not a liar. I'm an honest man.
What's that?
I don't know. I made it up. Was it Trump's team? In other words, it feels a little like, so there's a lure to like, oh, this is like a raging thing right now. I have a funny little take on it of just like Trump's reaction to it. How would he do it? Somebody reshared a Shane Gillis stand-up clip from ages ago about if Trump got assassinated, he would be the funniest guy to be assassinated. Like, he would handle it. He'd be like, sit down. What are you trying to shoot me for? Sit down. Hey, quiet. You know, and he did a whole funny bit on it and someone shared it. Obviously, it was before it was actually real. Mm-hmm. But this is all, you're commenting on real events. You're making fun of real things. Mm-hmm. And so, like, people make 9/11 jokes now, years after the fact, but in the days after, it's just not funny. So this was kind of right on the line for me of, is it funny or is it not funny? How is it worth the joke? Is it not worth the joke? Yeah, so what's going through it is that lure of like catching a fun wave, which happens sometimes in life, where there's like crazy news events that over every headline. And just in the same way, Ben Shapiro or some news commentator needs to get online and start talking about it and offer that value of coverage. We got to talk about this. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Offer analysis. That's his game. It's fair game. It's a good game. It offers value. I guess there's a part of me that justifies it by saying, this is the thought process. This is my game. Yeah. Like, finding the funny even in tragedy.
So here's my challenge to you.
Yep.
Because I think we had a whole argument. It got a little bit heated. It got a little personal before we started recording about content versus art.
Yeah.
I think what you did was a piece of content. I think something you could do to elevate it to art is to you do seem to have a pretty serious personal thought about what's going on, and about the reaction to it.
We discussed it in the episode that will be coming out. That's free.
Yeah, and like doing an impression that is a comment on all of those personal thoughts. That's not just the same. You know, how do we take this character of Trump and apply it to this? But I think your take is really interesting, where it's like all of a sudden this is a meme. This is actually deadly serious. And doing an impression video on that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
as Trump?
As Trump, yeah. I mean, I think that would be something that is uniquely Ami Kozak. That's more than just a piece of content. That's like an actual...
You just memify tragedy. That's
expression.
What you do. You memify it. The internet just has their way. I'm almost killed.
No, but make it funny. How could you make it funny? Lahavdil, I think Tim Dillon could do it. He's a genius. I think you could do it, but it would take you really sitting down and really, really figuring it out. Tim Dillon can do it on automatic now because he's done it so many times. But that's what I would love to see from you as like a friend and
how
a fan.
To take the serious point and the funny element of it
and make it funny because you are a comedian. You see what I'm saying?
But my impression of Trump isn't quite that. It's just more of like an impression of Trump, reacting and minimizing it. Like, my beautiful hair spit out the blood.
That's what everyone's doing. They're minimizing it. But like, how do you maximize it with that or something? You know?
It's an interesting challenge, Michael. It really is. I mean, it would be like Jordan Peterson.
So
I said on Twitter, like, it's nice, I guess, to see all the anti-Semites condemning the SS.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
To me, that doesn't feel ethically wrong because what it highlights is how anti-Semitic they've been, and this word SS keeps coming up in a different way, and it's like strange.
And they don't even
No.
What that is. So I was thinking about what could I do because I want to write something for my newsletter, and I was thinking like my weird take on it that I think is like uniquely me is like what happens to the shooter when he gets up to heaven? Like what conversation is he having with like heaven?
Ooh.
Like it's weird and odd and it's not for everybody, but I'm like that's my
Angle.
perspective on it, and I get a tickle of it, so I'm gonna do something with that. But like that's my weird corner. Like what's your weird corner? I think we know what it is. You just have to.
But I violated a little bit of my principles here in this sense. That's what I feel.
You did. I think doing it the way we're talking about
would
not be a violation.
100%. But I took the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And it was tempting, and I caved, and I feel mixed because I'm like, but at the same time, like, I do feel a little bit dirty.
You'll be rewarded for it, though.
I just feel a little bit dirty. Like when I see comments, never the comments really don't bother me. It's because most of the time they're just false. Zio, fascist pig, all the hate stuff I get on Israel. Like I just don't care. And if I found something hilarious and I stand by it, and then people say this sucks, like I don't care because I love it. No. I think I did the best I could in this. But when people say things that I kind of agree with, that's when it hurts. When they intersect with something that you may have doubts about.
Right.
And I had some doubts about this, and I still posted it because I was just like, other friends of comedians of mine are doing it, and I'm like, yeah, I recorded it the other day, but I'm like, but I know like on that like continuum, I recorded it on like Friday on Sunday or the other day, and I'm like, not gonna post this right now. It feels too soon.
Yeah.
So I might have jumped the gun. No pun intended, a little bit on posting before it was the exact right moment to. Maybe in a week from now, I wouldn't get any negative comments. It would be the humor we all need. Just like doing any funny video about Israel felt completely inappropriate. I canceled 2 stand-up shows. Right. Because that was very close to home.
Personal.
Obviously, if I knew the people affected at the rally and the person who was hurt, like it'd feel different too. But does that change right or wrong on it? You're saying the fact that I even care about it is unique? I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know.
I think it's unique.
Poor taste. Well, no, because comedy's about doing it right.
It's personal, yeah.
But comedy is also like, if you care about comedy, taste, class, timing is all part of it.
And you're also elevating yourself to someone who doesn't just have jokes, but they have a point of view.
Yeah, I guess.
You know.
But to me, it all goes part and parcel with the comedy. Like, is it right? Is the joke right? And timing and context is a part of what makes a joke right. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Versus like how real of a problem something is versus how funny it is. Like timing is a big part of that. And being able to read that pulse. You take that risk comedically.
Your Kamala impression is proof of that because you've been doing Kamala impressions for a long time. But
I don't know why no one responded to it, but yeah.
Because no one cared about her.
But that wasn't because it was in poor taste before. They just didn't care.
No. Right. They didn't care. She wasn't relevant. But now that she's relevant, people are like, they're learning about Kamala through your impression. Yeah,
so timing and that is a big part of it. But I mean, in terms of like delicate subjects, I wouldn't ever call Kamala a delicate subject.
No,
it just wasn't trending.
I'm saying the timing of it.
I'm speaking about delicate subjects to joke about, which is Trump being assassinated, nearly killed, and murdered is delicate.
Right.
It just is to me.
Yeah. No, there's an angle on it of like, I don't know.
Funnier jokes were like, you knew the shooter was a Democrat because he missed.
No, but that's a joke.
Yeah.
That's a joke. Yeah. And that's funny.
And I'm saying it's joking about the subject that happened, but to me it works.
No, but that's not your lane.
No, it isn't. Yeah. All I'm saying is some jokes have worked. Like Mark Norman's Stormy Daniels joke worked, when he said, "Now we both know what it's like to get shot in the face."
His lane.
It works because also it's not really trivializing the assassination. It's like making fun of Stormy Daniels. It's just such a funny angle. Now we both know what it's like to be shot in the face. I just laughed. Our president-elect. I mean, just like there is a
trivializing her, right?
It's and I sort of went directly for like, I don't know. Some people just, it's the subject in general. For me, is the juice worth the squeeze? That's all it comes down to. When you're doing jokes about delicate things, it's not all things. So we'll see.
Well, let's talk quickly because we both got to run. But the conspiracy. Angle on all this. I haven't really been watching too much analysis of it. I saw Tim Dillon came out with Alex Jones today.
Yeah.
They're married apparently.
Mama and Papa. He says Roseanne is Mama and Alex Jones is Papa.
Well, he also said they've been married for 10 years, him and Alex.
Oh yeah, with Mom when he's with Roseanne. It's just
no, he put up him with Roseanne and Alex Jones, and he wrote, as you get older, you get to see your parents as real people. That was the caption.
He was standing with
Yeah,
them.
it says a picture of them. You start to see your parents as real people.
Oh, so good.
Funny.
Wow, Tim Dillon.
No, but you were showing me videos of like
Look,
the shooter was on the roof. People saw him.
You're the conspiracy guy, not me. Right? You've always liked it. You always liked it.
I still do.
Yeah, I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I'm always like, nah, I'm skeptical, like, not conspiratorial. I'm like skeptical of conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
The logical conclusion to come to, based on what we've seen so far, is that this is more likely than not something more nefarious than just a random guy.
And not just ineptitude
Look,
on all sides.
the gracious interpretation is this. What we have seen so far, what I've seen, not what we have seen, right? That's such like a journalistic, what we've seen. Here's what we know. Patrick Ben David, here's what we know. There are people screaming. There's footage of people screaming, he's on the roof! And a guy's just there laying down, getting ready to shoot the former president. And people are screaming and telling police and eyewitness testimony, people saying, we told the cops, and 3 minutes later, the president is shot at or something like that. A lapse. There's enough time. And there's people, as he's, the snipers who took him out were already there. So they're looking. When former presidents who have full-time Secret Service, every former president has full-time Secret Service for life, wherever they go. And they're scanning rooftops within a vicinity. They arrive 3 days early to clear the place wherever he's going to stop. And so you mean to tell me they're looking. A cop who's on a walkie-talkie doesn't tell somebody, like, there's someone on the roof, suspicious activity? Now, the most gracious, non-conspiratorial interpretation of it is Trump does a lot of rallies. He's not the president of the United States. So the security is a little bit less. If he was the current president, it's a little bit more. He's loose. He doesn't have security detail with him in the same way. He walks into UFC events and waves. So people just get sloppy. And maybe they're just taking coffee, and like the cop is hearing from hysterical people all the time at every rally. Someone comes up and says, I saw someone. Maybe that's just the norm. People come up and say things. I saw a bag. I saw this, and freak out. And if you reacted that way to every scenario, you couldn't function as a security detail, you know? But
well, you said something interesting. He got 7 shots off before they shot him.
So the conspiracy.
Why did they shoot him after 7?
Yeah, it's like he took the shots, missed, so they took him out.
Yeah. And he's got 3 names.
Because he's a patsy.
He's got 3 names.
Oh, and every assassin
every
does?
assassin has 3 names. It's like Thomas.
And look at him. You mean to tell me
something.
a 20-year-old incel with no friends, bullied, the classic guy. He fits the profile of someone who's got nothing to lose, no friends, goes up on a rooftop with no security around, gets himself set up casually to wait as people see him on the ground, and this can happen.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to just accept that it's just a slip up? It's crazy to think that. More crazy to me, more illogical to think that than the other way around.
Right. So I mean, that's what they say about the JFK assassination. Also, it's crazier to think one person planned that
And one bullet.
than many people planned it.
And I forget how many shots were taken, but like one bullet exited the exit wounds. I don't know enough about the story and all that. And then someone came and killed him.
I know a little bit about it.
Jack Ruby came and killed him.
And then yeah.
It's like,
And he said, and Lee Oswald said, "I'm a patsy."
yeah. And so did this guy. I think on Twitter, there's a clip of him saying
They went to his a few hours after he was shot. The CIA showed up to his wife's home to interview her.
Who? Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yeah, like I know a fair amount about it. Basically, George Bush killed him, but it's a whole other episode. George Bush was working for the CIA. George Bush Sr. was working for the CIA.
Wow.
He was in Dallas the day it happened.
I need to kill Lee Harvey
And
Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald had no friends except for this one guy, De Morenschild, who was like this Russian aristocrat who was like helping him. He had no friends and no job except for this Russian aristocrat who worked for the CIA, who was like kind of just helping him get on his feet. And then a few hours after JFK was shot, the CIA showed up to his wife's house to interview him and to basically get her to say exactly what they wanted her to say. And then went public with the information. And George Bush he then went
Who visited the wife of Lee Harvey Oswald?
Police officers. The
Okay.
Dallas PD officers were sent there by the CIA. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm not so clear on that. And George Bush, and then he went on to run the CIA, George Bush, before he was president, claiming he was never ever involved in the CIA, which is like complete BS. Like he had a company called Zapata Offshore that was a CIA shell company.
Look at this, Michael.
And he was in Dallas the day of it, he made a call that day to like tell someone he had nothing to do with it. It's all very weird. But anyway, it seems like a pretty sophisticated operation. It makes more sense that it wasn't just one guy.
Interesting.
Who did it.
It's a whole episode on the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
There's a clip of a Zoom. I mean, because of this is so documented for Trump, there's this woman sitting behind that they zoom in on. They're like, watch her. So a couple moments before the shots are fired, she's sitting there. She's like grabbing a poster, and she's just like holding it up like this in this odd pattern. And she looks towards the direction, literally. And she looks and looks and looks. The shots get fired. Everyone starts freaking out. She doesn't move. She's sitting there like this.
Why wouldn't they kill her also?
And then she takes her phone out and starts filming.
Why?
I don't know what it means. You don't know. It's so like, what is, maybe she's, who knows what it's like there and what that really means. It just looks bad. It looks like she knows what's about to come. You know, and I don't want to sow that kind of nonsense in people's heads, but you watch it, you're just like...
Well, you have to ask who wants him dead?
Deep State.
Why?
Because he's disruptive and doesn't play ball. He's not controllable.
So it's not it's not the DNC that's doing this, or the Biden family?
It could be. Because Biden plays ball.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. The collusion...
Oh, because he's going to win now? That's like the idea.
Trump seems unbeatable, no matter what you do.
And why now?
Trump seems unbeatable.
No, these are good questions to ask if you're saying it's
Trump seems unbeatable. They tried every which way. Felons, impeachment. They try to destroy him, and it only makes him stronger. And so one could think that they have an incentive to take him out. Biden works with the people within the government agencies who hate Trump because Trump doesn't play ball with them.
I don't think Biden had anything to do with that.
Right.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. But I don't think that's
I know.
Where it comes from.
I have no evidence through that. But I'm trying to figure out who the incentives are.
The deep state makes more sense.
Like, in other words, agencies within the thing that if Trump comes back, because I think during his first term, maybe he was disruptive. Perhaps he was disruptive. Fired people. They couldn't control him. They wanted the president to do this and he wouldn't listen. Or there are people who operate behind the scenes, possibly. The problem with deep state talk is it leads to anti-Semitism. It just does.
Yeah.
You go down this rabbit hole and all of a sudden you start finding people who say, it's the Jews. You're like, ugh.
Right.
It sounds all alluring, and then you're like, Jews control everything. And I'm like, oh, shut up. I don't want to go there.
Right.
I don't want to like dabble in that and embolden that narrative. But my dad was like, there's plenty of agencies no one knows about in the government. Tons of paramilitary, tons of agencies that operate independently. A lot of things. That people don't know about. And if you don't play ball and cooperate with them, I think there are probably agencies and individuals within the government who want you to believe the president's in charge, but they're the ones.
You're coming around.
The mafia within the government.
You're coming around.
I mean, I'm sure it's somewhat like that.
The way people describe the deep state is that there are not factions. It's like it's not a conspiratorial world. There are groups.
Entities.
There are entities. There are entities within the government that are immune to elections, that stick around from president to president, administration to administration, and become stronger and stronger and stronger by the decade, that have more influence and power than any of the branches of government do.
Right.
That's basically
and they want their power
what
sustained and maintained, and a president like Trump may come in and mess that all up.
Right. Right. Well, he picked a fight with the CIA and the FBI.
He fired Comey.
Yeah.
Well, other presidents, they get in and they're like, okay, I'll work with you, whatever.
Why not poison him? I don't know. It seems like a kind of a bombastic way to do this if you're really going to do it.
The non-conspiratorial ways, there was just some crazy loon who hated Trump and was at the end of his rope or road.
Is
it end of his rope or road?
End of his rope, I believe.
We don't know.
I think. Well, also
end of his pitiful rope.
If there really was, if they really did send this guy to do it, why didn't they do it like they did with JFK and make sure he dies whether or not the guy hits him?
Right.
Oh. Like, why leave it up to this guy?
And why when he got in the car did someone not like take him out?
And why get a guy who can't kill him?
Right, that's a good point. Also. Get a guy, and you would think like maybe when he's on the ground, somebody sneaks a pop. Like that's what they claim with Rabin. The conspiracy with Rabin was that he was killed in the car.
Right.
And they used this guy as a patsy or something. interesting. Or somebody's down there, and then you could easily say there was like a bullet hit you here, must have hit you here.
Right.
Like
right. If he had gotten hit and gone down and died later, in some capacity,
it'd be more. You'd say it's interesting.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
You would be like, oh, we don't know, but he died.
Unless Trump staged it.
Oh, do you think?
Hit me in the ear.
Do you think he got up to be like,
kill me?
You can see I'm alive now. You see I'm alive?
Yeah. I'm well.
Yeah. If I die now, that's interesting.
I was going to say that Trump staged the assassination in order to make to finally galvanize all the support around him. No, but yes. Well, I think he got up. That was insane.
It was pretty crazy.
Fight.
It was
with his fist in the
crazy.
air to create one of the most iconic American images ever. Yeah. The American flag and a bloody-faced leader to stand up to tyranny.
It says a lot. Oh, that's not how I read it. I read it as like the most like a narcissistic performance addict in the world. Was like so much dopamine went through his head of like, I got shot in front of all you people and I survived. Yeah, like fuck yeah. That's how I saw it.
Meaning he commits to the bit.
Yeah,
no matter what.
It wasn't like America. It was like me.
Yeah, I didn't see it that way.
That's how
the image doesn't convey that.
That's because there's a flag there. Yeah. But
no, he said fight. Don't like.
Did he say something?
Fight.
Oh, I don't know that.
Fight.
That's what he said.
He was screaming. His mouth was screaming. Fight.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
People, Trump, I think also not only views himself as I want. He doesn't view himself as I want to win. We're gonna win. You're misunderstanding the brand. We're going to win so bigly. Not I'm going to win.
I know that's the brand, but in moments like that, you revert back to your animal
But in
self.
moments like that, he's saying, they tried to just take me out, and they're never going to stop us. We will be coming back. Like, that was the fist in the air moment. Fight. Look at me. I'm here. Right. And you hear him when the Secret Service is trying to pull him down. He goes, wait. You can hear him on the hot mic. Mm-hmm. He was like, I need my shoes because the shoes flew off because they threw him to the ground.
They always fly off.
They always fly off. He says, wait. And in that moment of mental clarity, he puts his fist in the air and says, fight. And gets this shot. Maybe he planned the whole thing. Great event. I don't know. It's just crazy. And I was, anyway.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Come on, Mike. You don't think it's crazy?
No. It just feels like a video game. It doesn't feel real. It's surreal. It's so surreal.
I need a bagel.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Ami's House Patreon.
Thank you, everyone who signed up in the last week or two. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We're going to try to really
give you what you want.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.